Welcome. I'm Gayanne Osherman, and I'm working today in my daily pages in my Galen Leather Company everyday book, which has Tomoe River paper. I'm almost to the end of the book, but I do just have enough room for November, so I'm going to be working on catching up some November pages today, and we'll just go from there. I also have my what my top level Patreon tier receive, and they, in addition to the other benefits, and they also get these little goodie packs with postcard and stickers and collage bits, and this time they also got this little it's November was my birthday month for Patreon, as well as my personal birthday, so this is a little extra gift. But I do, and as is this container, but I do always give them a little washi sampler card as well. So I remember to give myself a set this time, so I'm going to be possibly using some of these things as well. This will go on my bag. And these are mainly fall themed, so now's the time to be using them. So I have those I'm setting aside here, possibly use. So now just hope you enjoy following along with me. Pull up your own journal or something you like to do, and let's play. Okay, now I'm going to speed things up a bit for you. I'm using a kneaded eraser to erase some pencil lines. I had this page mostly done, but wasn't quite finished. I'm using my watercolors to paint in those words that I'd already put on the page. This was the first of the month, so getting the Patreon sheets out was top priority at that time. Also, on this day, I sold my 131st piece of art for the year, and that definitely sets a record for art sales for me for a year. And that's a lot of pieces to make, so definitely worth commemorating. Also on this page I have the word November and the Monday, as well as the little sweater with the number 1 are all from my Patreon sheets, so I use those in there. The other things are cut out from magazine, or there's also some Pipstick stickers in there that I went back and stuck in when those arrived. They're actually the October stickers that had been delayed. Now I'm flipping over to November 4th, and I found this magazine cutout, and I don't remember why it had a 4. But I'm using it. I thought that was perfect because I did some office work and it's the 4th, so I thought this was a good time to use that. So I'm going to stick that in. Stuck in the day, it's actually the wrong day, so you'll see me in a little bit. I'll have to go replace that, and I'm also taking out that sweater date that I'd already put in there because I want to use this magazine with the 4 instead. I made banana bread that night, so I'm using this cute little sticker that I got from Redbubble by Chloe. I'm not sure what I can't remember her last name. And I had a little banana I cut from a magazine, and a little mixing bowl I think is a sticky sticker. Stuck some washi tape up there to cover up the child, because that is just, my kids are all grown, so that's not something that I have when I am working, at least most of the time. Now I'm looking, I thought I remembered having a telephone, and I had a good phone conversation with my brother on this day, so I was looking for a phone to stick in here, and I badly need to take time to organize my stuff. I started and I have little envelopes with categories, but I need to finish doing that. I love these little stickers that I got from Amazon. They're little tiny stickers. I use them a lot on my weekly and monthly pages. Less often on here, but I'm pulled out a couple things to use. I was looking for a laundry sticker, and I decided to just use one of my own little laundry washing machine here, and I put that little tiny sticker in my weekly pages and then use the washing machine to stick in. It's a little bit bigger. The little tiny stickers kind of get lost on the daily pages, so needed something a little bigger. Now I'm taking out my pink Sarasa pen and doing my journaling for the page, and I really love the Sarasa pens. I love how they work, and then I also love that the clip works so nice to stick in things. So I finally realized that I had the wrong day of the week on here, so I peeled that off, and now I'm going to put the correct day on there. I often get myself confused like that. That's one thing that I like about using the Hobonichi is you've got the dates already there for you, so that really helps. Since I couldn't find a phone, I'm drawing a teeny tiny little phone here to represent that phone conversation. Even though I hadn't been getting my pages done, I had been sticking things in there just to be ready when I needed to start putting them together. So that really helps a lot. I already have some things sorted out. I cut this piece out of a magazine that has a gentleman from, looks like from India, at least he's wearing a turban and robe, and we had watched a movie that night on Queen Victoria's, it's supposed to be based on true story, Queen Victoria's friendship with a man from India, and it was just kind of an interesting movie, so I just kind of made note of that in there. And I'm also cutting out a little church from a sheet that I made for myself with churches and Bibles on there, and so I'm cutting out that little church and putting it on the page. The lettering is the verse that was from the sermon, and I just did a little hand lettered piece in the little journal that I take with me, and then I just made a copy of it to put in this journal. I decided to hand letter the day up at the top, and sometimes that's just easier than finding something to cut out and do. So I'm lettering that and adding a little shadow, drop shadow to it, kind of matches the movie night that I did on the tip-in. And also worked on an art piece. I put a picture of it, the progress I made on it, and so I have that in there and just journaling a little bit about how that's coming along. And then I just add a little bit of washi strip that was something my November patrons top tier got on their little washi sample card. And now I'm just coloring in letters. I'm using actually one of my dot markers. I like the color of it, so I'm using that to actually color in the words there. I use a mild liner pen in a slightly more orange color. It's kind of like a apricot or peachy color, and to color in the weekday thing. The time change sticker or little image is from one of my Patreon sheets for November, because here we change our time, change our clocks twice a year, and it was time to change the clocks again, which did mean we got an extra hour of sleep that night, so that was fun. I am pulling out these meatball stickers. I really like them, but I kind of forget to use them. I hadn't used them for a while, so I'm using kind of several of those. I'm actually working ahead. The day that I am working is the 11th, so I actually was sticking some things in there. I usually don't do a page until after the day is done because, you know, you never know what a day will hold. But I did stick a few things in there in advance as I came across them. I cut this off of the cover of a Breathe magazine, which is one of my favorite magazines to get images from for journals. And I just really like that happy character there. That was a day I got a big commission piece done, and so I was happy to have it finished. It had been fun to work on, but it was time to be done, move on to some other things. The little acorn 8 up there was also one of my patron sheets. I had both sweaters and acorns for the dates for November, so those were fun to use. I like the little plaid cap that the acorn has. Did some journaling in there. I put my patron count down in there, also some, like, the label off of some washi that I'd gotten, and now I'm just tipping in that happy celebratory image and putting it in there. It's nice because it already has that red backing, so it makes a good tip in off of that cover. And I'm using some matching washi to tip that in. I really worked hard that day because I was so close to done. I really wanted to finish. It was a pretty large piece, so it was just all the little detail work. And I mentioned that I didn't even take time to stop for lunch. I just ate a protein bar and just kept working. I put another little happy image down here, also cut from a magazine, just because I was really pleased with what all I got done that day. I put this sticker that was very appropriate. It says, "Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done." And that's exactly what I was determined to do this day, because I was close. I was just going to keep working until I finished it, whatever that meant. So, and I did. And then moving on to the 10th. You can see I just stuck a scrap of paper in there to kind of jot some notes about what I did. It really rained hard that day, so I was trying to pick what umbrella I wanted to use. I ended up picking this big one that I had cut from a magazine, just kind of goes over the whole page. I also included on this page the label off of applesauce. Most applesauce I can't eat, but my husband just recently found this that is a kind that I can eat, and so I made note of that by sticking the label in there. Food labels are just an easy thing to stick in your journal. You have them anyway, why not just go ahead and stick them in your journal? They're usually attractive and designed well, so they are just an inexpensive addition to your journal. And they kind of, well, I think it'll be fun to look back in 20 years and see what kinds of things we're eating and such. I drew in my lines again for journaling, and I'm using my a little bit, I think it's a fine point, but it's a bigger fountain pen ink than my usual pens that I use, so it writes a little bit bigger anyway. So I had drawn those lines in just as kind of a journaling guide to use with that, and then I'm sketching in a few little things as I go. I'm using another one of those meatball stickers that I trimmed up to fit in the spot. Getting out some more meatball washi tape. I know that I'm going to be getting some packages delivered today, so I picked this little wow with a girl opening a box. There's a few items that I'm looking forward to that hopefully I'll tell you about in a video later. And and I'm picking out some more things, just kind of filling in some empty places, adding some things in just to make things a little more interesting. I'm pulling out some alphabet stickers by Amy Tangerine, I believe, and I'm using those to put down that I cut my own hair up there on the umbrella. It's kind of too big of a blank space, so I wanted to put something up there. And I also, well, I cut my own hair, but then I talked my husband into helping trim up the back, and he was really nervous about that, and but he cooperated and did it. And you know, I can't see the back of my head, so I will just assume that he did a good job. Just adding a smidge of watercolor. I had worked to make some handouts for a workshop that I'm going to be having in a couple days, and so there were actually kind of colorful handouts, so I just put those in there. I hand lettered the Thursday using a couple of colors of Tombow markers, and do a little bit more to embellish that page. I'm using the camera stamp and my little journal stamp on some paper to stamp those so that I can stick them on top of that little bit of wide washi that I put down there and have it show up. So I put those on there. I wrote on there what it was that I filmed today as I'm doing it right now. Now I'm just going back and doing some little touch-ups. There's a little bit of journaling I needed to fill in, some corners that need glued down, just some things like that. So I'm going back in and doing that here and there, adding some embellishments anywhere that I think looks a little plain still. I'm definitely someone that likes to fill in all the spaces and not leave much white space in my journal. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.